In this video, I want to give you a bit of an outline to help you with your exam preparation. Okay, the exam is going to be in two parts. The first part is going to have some mathematics. And so there will be some mathematical analysis, so you need to bring in a calculator. Some of you might like a financial calculator. However, I suspect that you really only need a $5 calculator from Woolies or something to do the equations which are in this course, and you will have to do some of them. So for those of you who are mathematically challenged, give some thought to being very, very familiar with the kind of mathematical analysis that was in your report and in the other approaches that we didn't use. I can't tell you which ones are in the exam, of course. However, if you go in confident that you understand the mechanics of valuation mathematics, then you will find Part A walk in the park. Then we move to Part B. Part B consists of a number of short essay questions. Now, the nice thing about short essay questions is that, in general, they deal with big topics with a certain amount of generality. If the second part of the exam was 50 or 60 1- or 5-mark questions which ask you for the definition of that and a short response to this and something else, you would have a lot more work to do. When we're looking at short essay questions, what it means is that each question is going to ask you to explain or contrast or in somehow show your general understanding of a general topic. Now, obviously, these are not going to do with the mathematical stuff, and so you can look at the theory issues that are through the course, and we've already talked about those to a certain extent. To do well in the short essay questions, you can look at what grade you want, and that to a certain extent gives you an idea of how much work to do and, what to fret over to a certain extent. Basically, to pass in any one of these short essay answers is really to have done little more than to have read the textbook and the study guide. Some of you might even be able to get through with just reading the study guide, I guess, but it might be a little bit risky. And only have a general understanding of the topic at hand. And so with a general understanding of the topic at hand, with a minimum of reading, you should get a pass. For those of you who want a credit or a distinction, you'll have to show a better understanding without significant errors, and with evidence that you've gone over the resources that we've really asked you to go through, and that is basically the study guide and the text, and in some cases a reading or two. Although for a credit and really moving into distinction, you really only need a general familiarity with that sort of tertiary reading. Okay, the primary thing that you really must do is have read the study guide and understood it, read the text. Unfortunately, sometimes the text is a little bit deep, but at least to have a good understanding and be able to put forth a fairly crisp presentation of your answer to the various questions that you attack. So, having read all the resources and be able to put a crisp answer to the questions will get you a credit or a distinction. If you want the very best grades, and so that's really high distinction or possibly a top end of the distinction area, you really want to demonstrate that you have a solid mastery of the topic, are able to present it crisply, so you have time limitations and space limitations obviously in an exam. So you need to be able to put your point forward nicely and crisply, impress your examiner, and for the highest results, not only should you have read at least all of the materials that are recommended in the course, but also have evidence of those readings, especially the tertiary readings. So be able to bring out a quote from maybe a journal article that was in the readings for whatever module is appropriate, or maybe some other reading that you may have done. Bring out a quote, maybe refer to an author. David Ricardo says such and such in 1817 or whatever. That sort of thing will earn you the high distinction. The high distinction, you wouldn't have any false any errors in your work and so on. I invite you all to aim for at least a credit. I don't think that's beyond anyone's ability. However, it's a matter of how much time you have put in so far and want to put in between now and then to get that reading done, and then to grapple with the issues. And to do that, I do recommend that you hit the discussion board. If you want to be the first one off the block to maybe start a discussion thread on, what does the perfect market contribute to property valuation, or is the cost approach really crazy? By all means do that, because it's a good way, especially in our remote environment, of being able to get some kind of head scratching going on where you can talk to each other, think about different people's perspectives, kind of brush up each other's or polish up each other's understanding and so on, and sort of learn by that kind of interaction. And I do recommend that very highly, and that's really what the discussion board is there. Use the general discussion area. Don't use the Q&A or the news, because that really demands my attention. And for this sort of stuff, generally it's some of this is best done amongst the students themselves. Okay, I won't go on any further. I hope this gives you a bit more confidence in terms of how to revise for the exam and how to hit the exam when it happens. As I say, I'm confident that all of you should be able to get at least a pass grade all the way through here from simply doing the theory notes, the study guide, and of course you've got the higher grades available for people who have got the time and the interest to really shake this course for all it's worth and get everything out that you can. All the best for the exam. I'm always here to take questions and so on, and I do hope you've enjoyed the course.